How many of you would look at a game like this and immediately think that you need the forfeit? On blue side, of course, I'm talking about. So the enemy team is up about 8,000 gold right now, about to be 9,000 after they take this tower. It's 21 minutes in. There's, you know, a 5 tower deficit. They're at 6 towers. We only have 1 tower. 9k gold deficit overall. You're down an inhibitor, 21 minutes. You guys can hit the forfeit button right now. You can end this game. It's been miserable. Maybe you had a whiner on your team. Maybe you had a couple just really boosted looking plays going on. And you can hit that forfeit button and just end the misery. How many of you would do that in this situation? Well, most of you would. And I don't blame you, because this is a hard situation to come back in. It's not fun to play when you're behind, right? You don't get to be really dominant and run in like 1v3 and pull off these amazing highlight plays. It's really hard to come back when you're behind. It's really easy to give up. But what really defines a good player is the ability to win despite being behind the entire game. Come back when all odds are against you. So Valkrin, if you were in this situation, which I was, how do you come back to win it? All right. So first of all, you need to evaluate at this point in the game, 21 minutes, you're down this massive amount of gold, inhibitor. What do you have going for you? So you need to do a quick assessment of your assets. What is going for your team? Well, the CS is actually not too bad. Across the board, everyone is kind of within the same threshold as our opponents, which means even though we're down a lot of kills, we're still generating enough gold to buy some items. Now, it's really key, because if we were down, like a 9 kills, 5 towers, an inhibitor, and the CS difference was like, they had like twice our CS across the board, that means our team would just pretty much have no items, and their team would just be super stacked. And they're pretty stacked right now. They have a lot of gold, but our team is at least able to make some items. So that's the first step, is like, is your team actually capable of like making plays to kill your opponent? Yes, we have enough items that if potentially our opponents were out of position in a certain way, we could kill someone and make a little extra gold. The second thing is, we were actually getting dragons this game. I was able to secure 2 dragons. So even though we're in this situation where we feel really behind, there are a lot of stats that go unnoticed. They're not directly gold. They're not giving you extra items right away. But we got the Mountain Drake, we got the Ocean Drake. These are 2 kind of unseen buffs that'll still be very useful in some situations. Next, you need to evaluate mistakes. You need to be able to quickly evaluate when your opponent has made a mistake. Not only have they made a mistake, but how do you capitalize on that mistake? So just before I paused, we saw a couple key things. Let's switch to our vision. The pause button is broken now. That's going to be great. I probably won't be able to pause for the rest of the game, but that's okay. Wrong vision, blue. So we see them back towards top side. Their Diana just used teleport bottom, I believe. Wow, the replay really broke. That's unfortunate. I don't like that. Wish there was a replay in the client. Anyways, all right, so we saw our opponents use a teleport bot lane. The enemy team was likely to recall, and we just decided to go for a Baron. Now, why did you go for Baron in this situation, Valkrin? We had nothing to lose and everything to gain. By taking Baron off the map, our opponents cannot get Baron, and we also will be able to defend easier with Baron buff. We were able to secure that. Our opponents made a mistake. Their top laner used TP bottom. Their team recalled in a relatively bad spot, enabling us to just rush Baron. Everybody on our team is coming back about the same time, so we have not a whole lot to do, like no one on the map to go and kill. Your team is more likely to listen to you when you have pretty much nothing to lose and there's not really many plays going on. So 3/5 of our team die. Me and the Victor live. We have a late game based team comp, so not too bad. We're still going to lose another inhibitor, but something that goes kind of unnoticed in the game is that if you're down an inhibitor, you can outfarm your opponents. Every wave there's going to be a super minion. After about 6 waves of super minions, if you get every single super minion, that's a kill's worth of gold. 5 times 6, 300. Or 50 times 6, 300 in this case. So 5 super minions times 6 waves, you've made a kill if you've gotten all that CS. And when it's really easy to get into a habit of like not getting the last hits when you're like trying to defend. I know in some cases that's happened to me, where you're just like an autopilot and you like stop focusing on last hitting when you're down an inhibitor. You're just trying to like push it out. But it's still really important that you try to get perfect last hits when you're down an inhibitor. I'm about to make a minor mistake because we didn't have great vision. I wanted to get this river crab because dragon was going to spawn at 50, and in my mind, the only thing we had going for us were the dragons. I secure this dragon. I'm kind of tanky with my build. We waste Wukong ult, we waste Nami flash, nice tornado from Janna, and bam, we made another slight advantage. My ultimate for Wukong ult, Nami flash. It's really good to waste a long ultimate cooldown like Wukong ult when you're this far behind because it just stalls longer. We're able to hold longer, we're able to make more gold. If they want to push, then they're pushing when they're weaker because they're down a major ultimate. We've seen them run towards bot side. We know that they're going to start pushing bottom out. Corki's mid, we need to defend bottom. We have to stop the bleeding somehow. In this situation, while we still have 2 Baron buffs up, we actually do want to make a catch and to fight when we can. I'm pretty strong. I'm a strong strap-in dragon. We make a kill on Wukong. We're possibly going to kill Corki. Diana is just ungodly fed, so things are looking grim again, right? Like 3/5 of our team just died again. We're kind of back where we started before, down 2 inhibs. Easy to hit that forfeit button, right? Like, it's just, you're down 2 inhibs. Oh, Valkrin, they're just going to take your 3rd inhib and end the game. Well, I'm pretty good at defending, so I'm just going to keep my head held high and try to last hit as well as I can while defending this. They're going to get some pressure on this tower, but main priority for me at this point in time is just to make sure these super minions do not kill my Nexus towers, because the game is not over till you're down your Nexus. You could be down 3 inhibitors. As long as your Nexus is still alive, you possibly have a chance to come back. And this Baron buff is doing so much work. It's a lot easier to hold against super minions when your minions are buffed up by Baron, for sure. Baron's great for helping you in games, but it's honestly just absolutely fantastic for defending, because your minions get so buffed up, it's really hard for them to push on you. So I'm just doing the best I can for generating as much gold per minute as I can. I need to become tankier. I went for the Blood Razor Titanic Hydra builds, just trying to farm anything I can. You can't even leave a red up like this for your AD carry as a jungler, because it might not be up for very long. They're going to come back, they're just going to attack your jungle. Kill every jungle camp as quickly as you can, because when you're losing a game like this, it's really easy for you to just lose all control of your jungle, and you just make less gold per minute because they have access to both jungles all through minion waves. So when you're down 2 inhibs, easy to give up because it just feels like they could go for that 3rd inhib and win. But until they actually do, you're making more gold per minute because they're, 2 super minions, 1 top, 1 mid. That's a lot of gold per minute that you're making. Now, I'm doing something that I wouldn't always suggest. I'm not really with my team. I see that the mini wave is really far away, so they have a long time until they can actually get to our tower, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm pretty strong. They kick it, like, not too many of them can just like walk up and insta-kill me because I'm kind of tanky and I'm pretty fast. So I'm just trying to hold this wave, these couple waves, until this inhibitor respawns, or as long as I can until, well, they get to that tower. So that huge minion wave that we had pushing out, they finally dealt with, and they're at our door. And even here, it could be really easy to be like, all right, we're just going to lose all 3 inhibs and then just lose the game, or we lose off of this push. Well, maybe. And most of the time, it's very possible to lose from this situation, but you're looking for very key mistakes. You're looking for someone getting caught out. You're looking for them to have a bad dive. You're looking for them to simply make an error of judgment for how strong they are in like a 1v1. I'm doing my best to clear out vision around the corner, and I'm trying to stay away from poke. But by denying vision around here, we give them less safety. Like, if they don't see everyone on our team, there's the possibility of me coming in the flank. It just makes them a little bit less safe by denying vision, and a lot harder to hit skill shots freely if I'm constantly denying vision. So it'd be really easy for a Shyvana or someone just to like sit next to the tower, do nothing, and wait for the minions to push in. But we have to be really proactive about pushing out the waves before they just get in our base. Because what the enemy team is trying to do is they're waiting for us to split up and go for a lot of the minions, the super minions, and then just like start sieging the tower, hit it here and there when someone's defending. And that's just going to happen. But luckily we have a Janna who can shield the tower. So Kate and I are like between the minion waves. Like, they don't have the minion wave here. This is a good time for us to branch off and go deal with the super minions. And they're trying to, chip away at the tower, but Janna is able to shield it between minion waves so they can't exactly get too much damage on the tower. And I can push super minions in really quickly with the Blood Razor Titanic. And they decide to dive before the minion wave is there. Wukong dies. So there's the mistake right there. You're looking for a mistake. Wukong dove before the minions were there. He got impatient, And just like that, they're down 2 members. Exhaust the Corki. We're going for more. Because I'm exhausted, it's pretty hard for me to chase this in. We get bubbled. We need to back off. We can't get too greedy. There are minions pushing that top inhib in. It would be really easy just to blindly chase because it looks like we can win it. But we don't need to be that greedy. We just need to like buy enough time for our team to get items and to be on a better playing field. So it looks like so far our opponents are having a really hard time closing out the game. They don't have the best sieging comp. Once it actually comes down to the point where we're able to sit under the tower and defend, and we're not down inhibitors, things will get a little bit better. Now, Baron's on the table again. We'd kind of snuck the last Baron. This Baron might be highly contested. So what we want to do is, first priority is make sure that we get this river crab before they could possibly take it for themselves. Because that river crab cannot be denied. So when you're in the losing team, if you take the river crab, they can't like just, you know, sweep and deny the river crab vision. They can't. So when you get the river crab, you'll have like indefinite vision for that time period to know when they're doing Baron. Unless of course they can go over the wall. That's something that didn't really happen this game. I was able to smite steal it. It's kind of risky to do that when my smite's going to be on cooldown. If they just rush Baron right here, we didn't have Maokai or my smite. But they were like, well, we don't want to like tank Baron and maybe get flanked. They're still in a dominant position. Still a 9k gold lead. But they haven't ended the game yet. We've got like that safe river crab vision, and we just have to buy time. Our team is steadily starting to develop their like core builds. I've gotten Randuin's now. I've got some magic resist. Caitlyn's almost at her 3rd item. Our support like has Athene's. You know, their Diana top lane's like 4 items deep. Wukong is about the same if you count the jungle item as a full completed item. And while I see their team, I'm just trying to play the annoying speedy dragon. Just like, I've got the river crab vision, I've got the river crab speed. If you don't feel confident doing this, I wouldn't recommend doing it, but it can give you a slight advantage. Like while we see the mid lane, I go and try to deny their vision, clear vision here and there, because we have a feeling that they're going to eventually do this Baron when the river crab times out. And that's likely because they had trouble sieging to end the game, so they probably need Baron to do it. And we just lost our Janna. Oh man, hit that forfeit button, right? GG, noob Janna, get caught. Really easy to forfeit right now because you're like, well, fuck. It's 4v5. They're not even going to do Baron. They're just going to like push down mid and win the game. We just have to be patient. We have to see what we can do here. I'm starting to take a lot of damage. GG. Valkrin hit that forfeit button. You can't even do anything. You guys are going to lose inhibitors. How can you come back to win this game? It's a 10k gold deficit now. No way you can win this game. Well, maybe. Some of the time, this would be a really easy time to lose the game, but our team composition still scales very well. Our opponents are making mistakes. They're not perfect players. We just have to see what they do, right? There might be another opportunity to sneak Baron. There might be an opportunity to steal Baron. You never know how it's going to go. So, Dragon just spawned. There's a huge wave bottom. What's the first thing I do? Well, we don't have a lot to lose. Let's go fucking do Baron. So I see some wards. I'm trying to deny vision. It's likely with the vision that we had that, you know, they're coming to us right now. Well, they could be going for Dragon. Let's take this risk. We can do it really quickly. We got the Mountain Drake. Bam. We heard that someone did Dragon. So we know that it's not just, their whole team is possibly not here. So I'm staying on Baron. I've got it at 11k, 1000. I've smited it. Wukong is dead. They've made another mistake. They got overconfident. Maybe a lot of them were around mid lane. But because Corki went to go solo Dragon, it was like a 4v5. They didn't feel that confident going in. Another mistake. Now, always just blindly rushing the Baron might not work out for you. You need enough damage, like Caitlyn, Shyvana. They do a ton of damage to Baron, plus we had the Mountain Drake. So we had that going for us. And maybe, you know, 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't be able to do Baron as fast as we were able to do. But we were able to do that. So we were able to secure 2 Barons while down 2 inhibitors each time. So every single time we're like at an extreme disadvantage, we're able to pull it back because our opponents did not play around Baron correctly. Baron is just phenomenal. Like Baron buff is so potent for defenders and siegers. It's like if you were down 2 inhibs and you lost Baron, yeah, we would have lost this game. But every single time our opponents made a very slight mistake, and our team listened to the call for me to go for Baron, and we went denied vision. They still didn't show. We went for it. Now, if they had all showed up as 5, we would have stopped doing Baron. We would have backed off and just tried to get them to do Baron and maybe fight them after. They're going to go for me here. Wukong ults. I ult. There's Corki's package drop. I don't die. I'm a tank. They're trying to assassinate me. So this is like pretty much played out the same exact way from before. So the last time we got Baron, as soon as we got Baron, I cleared out vision. Wukong tried to kill me with his ult. His ult's on cooldown. Now they're trying to siege without ultimate on Wukong. My ultimate for Wukong's ultimate, totally worth it. That's fantastic for us. So they're trying to siege when we have Baron, and they're like, oh wait, they're actually kind of strong now because they've got Baron buff, even though we're down, 8,000 gold. Baron buff gives you a ton of stats, buffs up your minions that do extra damage. Wukong didn't have ultimate. We get a free catch on Corki, delaying the game. The longer we delay it, the more opportunities we have to come back to win the game. Ooh. Caitlyn died here. This probably would have been really, really bad for us, but, Janna is a super late game support. Maybe not always the best early game support in some situations, especially when you're behind, but she has a really phenomenal ability to protect ADC's late game. Alright, so we got 4 kills there. We didn't kill Wukong. We were able to stall the game out even longer. And when your opponents hit level 18, when your opponents get full item builds, they can't get that much stronger besides switching out items, and that's pretty much it. Maybe waiting for Baron buff and Elder Drake. We do lose the Nexus Tower, so we're slowly losing a little bit of traction in our base. But more importantly, we're starting to close the overall gold deficit, and our team is actually able to start generating some completed items. So our Caitlyn's 4 items now. Our Maokai's 3 items. I'm about 4 items deep. Our mid laner is... Holy moly, he was weak this game. He went like Hex Core upgrade, Rylai's into Guardians. So he's like dying a lot this game. I didn't realize he didn't have that much damage, but their team is pretty squishy too, right? They didn't have a dedicated tank, which gave us a much easier time to come back here. So while I was talking, most of their team was dead. I just pushed top as hard as I could. We actually got the top outer turret. Wow. I mean, top outer turret at 36 minutes. That's how behind we were. I could get away with that because I'm kind of a strong duelist while being a tank as well. Even if that one member of the Wukong was there. I'm 3 levels higher than him now because we're killing super minions, we're killing the jungle camps, we're getting barons. We're actually making more golden experience per minute for a long time than their jungler was. I'm like 120 minions up on Wukong because the enemy team didn't have access to the top or mid waves for a very long time. They were constantly pushing into our base. Their super minions were almost denying our opponent's gold because it would just like kill our minions and push into our base very quickly, allowing us to freeze. So not only do you make more gold per minute when you're defending, your opponents make even less gold than they normally would because a lot of the minions that they would normally get just die from their super minions killing it and just pushes into your base. So the lanes kind of freeze. We were able to safely farm in our base, and when we're able to push out, we push out just very slowly. Now you might be saying like, well, Valkrin, you haven't taken their inhibitor yet. How are you going to win? You're still behind. Patience. If you ace them in your base, it gives you enough time later on in the game, and like the death timers are long enough that you can just push in and take an inhibitor, and then you will have another opportunity to take another inhibitor. As long as your team composition it has comparable scaling to your opponents, you shouldn't be that worried to take it to the super late game when you were behind the entire game. Because the only thing you have to gain by stalling it out is slowly closing that gold gap. It's only 4,000 gold gap now. It's closing, it's closing. Elder Drake is spawning in 33 seconds. It was kind of a late Elder Drake. So that's more fortunate for us because that means less of a window for them to use their early game advantage and close out the game with Elder Drake. Looks like we're gonna our team mostly got caught out here without me or Victor, but I'm getting a really nice flank off, and I'm very, very strong tank. So I just ult. I'm exhausted here, just trying to stick to their carries. Our team is able to win this weird, awkward team fight because the Caitlyn damage is really starting to pump out with the Janna. We kind of chase this in. So we're turning the tide of this game already. This game, it has a long way to go, right? Like, we still haven't gotten into their base yet. there's no big minion wave to push in, so but Elder Drake is spawned and Baron's up in 48. So it'd be really nice and easy to get Elder Drake by the time we kill this and run to Baron. That'll be up. So we'll do Baron even faster because we have the Elder Drake. And once you have Baron plus Elder Drake, my god, you and your team are strong. So the first thing I do is I've got a keen eye on that third Baron for our team. And we got to secure this. Got the Elder Drake, doubling the bonuses from the first two dragons and also enhancing the Elder Drake buff. Alright, let's get this. We're just waiting around, so I did the River Crab just to ensure, because their team will be alive for this. And we already see their Diana, but I'm really keen on doing this as quickly as possible. If we were able to catch them here, see, I used my Random Winds proc. I wanted to get a lot in there. I ult back to Peel. I'm not going to just ignore the Wukong. We lose our Caitlyn really quickly. So I guess I didn't rush Baron here. I thought I did, but when they showed as close as they did, we have the Elder Drake buff. We want to force the fight. If we were to like wait around, and we probably could rush the Elder Drake, but we might be stuck in a fight like we just were against a strong Wukong ultimate and Diana combo while we're tanking Baron. So if they didn't show up as close as they did, we probably should have just rushed the Baron, but they got really close, stepped on a trap. I just ran down the Diana. Wukong and Diana are dead. So we lost the Janna and Caitlyn. The numbers are equal. We have the Elder Drake still. Their jungler is dead. I'm level 18. I want to secure this Baron. Now, it would be easy for you to leave the pit here, right? Like, it's really easy to leave the pit. But Baron was so low, and I can pretty much finish it myself, that I really wanted to ensure the fact that we'd get this Baron. I lost a game earlier in this day because Baron got down to about 1,500 health. I think their jungler was already dead, and our team left the Baron pit and started chasing their Soraka, and Baron partially reset, and their Fiora jumped into the pit and started fighting me, and enemy team ended up getting the Baron because I couldn't live through Fiora ultimate while tanking Baron for that entire duration. But this game, fortunately enough, I've been securing the Barons very well for our team, and our team has, for the most part, been very willing to listen to the calls, which is important, because if your team doesn't want to do Baron, you can't exactly solo it when the enemy team is ready to defend it. So we had the Elder Drake. The Elder Drake buff is gone now, but we have the Baron buff to supplement it. We're actually able to get our first inhibitor through the Baron buff. The enemy team is respawning. Do not make the mistake of trying to overextend to end the game too quickly. We're still in a situation, well, actually this is the first gold advantage we've had this entire game. We're still in a situation where opponents have comparable items. We're not suddenly vastly stronger than them. We're actually on an even playing field now. With Baron buff, we're stronger, but we don't want to be tanking Nexus towers. For the duration of Baron buff, we want to make the best use of it, and we had a top lane inner turret to take. If our opponents fight us outside of their inhibitor tower, it'd be really good too. So if they end up fighting us here, that is just peachy for us because we don't have to tank a tower. And while they're out of position, they have to go all the way around. We can get a lot of free damage in. Their Diana gets a nice engage because she realized that her team would likely lose this tower. Wukong hits a 5-man ultimate. But Caitlyn is not taking any damage. She's cleaning this up really nice because she's a late game champion, not an early game champion always. She might have a pretty decent laning phase against some short range matchups like Vayne, but she's definitely a late game hero. I think I'm gonna die here. I'm pretty sure I die here. I get caught in a bad place trying to finish the Ezreal, and I get flanked by the Diana teleport. Our team is doing really well though. They didn't make the same mistake I did there and just zerg into them. But in my head, I saw an opportunity to kill the Ezreal. I mean, Diana teleported behind us inside their base, which is weird. But we need to get out of here and defend bottom. Speed it up a little bit. Team's going to go back. We almost lose this, but we don't. So, kind of in a reverse position now. Except we're securing the Barons. They're down 2 inhibitors. We're going for that 3rd inhib like they had been doing 20 minutes earlier. 20 minutes before this, they were doing the same thing. But everyone on our team is closing in their last item builds. I've gotten my 6th item. Maokai has 6 items. Honestly, the weakest person right now is Victor, and that just has to do with the fact that he had been not getting as much farm. It's hard to get everyone the farm. Usually the jungler gets shafted, but I was one of the ones that was pushing in the super minions very quickly and taking a lot of that gold. And that's good because I'm one of the tanks. And the tank super late game is just very important because you end up soaking a lot of damage, you do a lot of damage, you can tank the tower. If they forget about you, you kill an ADC. Shyvana might not be the best at sieging. Actually, she's pretty bad at sieging. But when you get this tanky, you can do some pretty sneaky stuff, being able to come in behind the tower. But for the most part, this game I had been like just going for Wukong. Glass Cannon Wukong, he's able to go in melee range of me. I've got Guardians, so they kind of got baited there by all diving in on me after I killed the Wukong. Victor got really handsy there. Luckily, Diana miscalculated Victor's damage, and he finishes off the Diana. And this is it. We won. Multiple opportunities for us to have forfeit this game. Absolutely. Most of the time, we probably would have lost this game. But our opponents made key mistakes around Baron. We were able to secure Baron. If we didn't get like the first Baron, then we would have just lost the game. If we didn't get the second Baron, we would have lost this game. And it's not always about Baron either, right? Like, if our opponents never went for Baron or never gave us an opportunity to do Baron, there's still a chance that they could have made a mistake under our inhibitor tower, delaying the game. So the main play of this game is just delay. Like, that's the story of this game. Is the longer the game goes, the higher your chance is to win the game. And it's really easy to fall into a cycle of just forfeiting as soon as you get the opportunity to in a lost game, because you want to go and get into a new game that you have a higher likelihood of winning. But if your goal is to climb the ladder, you need to sometimes pull off these really weird and sometimes impossible looking victories, because when you're in your promos, when you're trying to develop league points in Challenger or Master Tier, you can't just throw away every single loss. You have to sometimes play out games. Don't flame your team. Look for key mistakes your opponents are making. Try to secure Baron. Try to farm up as much as you can. Just because you're behind doesn't mean that you shouldn't be like trying to make as much gold per minute as you can. Go for safe plays. Don't overextend once you start coming back. Don't make the same mistakes your opponents did by, overstaying, diving inhibitor towers, splitting up, going for 1v1s in dangerous situations, and taking a risk. I mean, if you are super far behind, you really have nothing to lose, right? The game is already looking like a loss. You might as well do something like a desperate Baron. You might as well try to make a Fnatic bush play, which is just 5 people sitting in a bush that's swept and hope for a face check. You really have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And maybe 9 out of 10 times we would have lost this game, but that 1 out of 10 times we won the game. We got some league points we probably normally wouldn't, and we move on to a new game. But the most important thing, I think, is you start developing the ability to win when you're behind, or to spot the ability to come back when you're behind. And if you're able to do that, you'll grow as a player, you'll become better, and even in those games that you are super far ahead, you'll cherish your advantage, and you might not be as willing to throw it because you've seen what it's like to be on the other side, to come back from behind, and you'll be less likely to make mistakes when you're ahead, when you know what to look for. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.